My name is Gary Strauss, and this is my Week 3 assignment for our EDU 503 Sport Law class at William Woods University. It is a parent meeting video presentation discussing the risks involved with athletic participation. Welcome to West High School for our preseason parent meeting. My name is Gary Strauss, and I am the Activities Director here at West High School. Tonight you'll be able to meet our athletic department staff and coaches, as well as our athletic trainer. You will receive all the paperwork needed to fill out for your child to receive a tryout card so they can begin practice. This includes a physical form, proof of insurance, athletic code of conduct, consent for treatment form, and emergency information form. We will identify some of the risks involved with participation in athletics. We'll also discuss some of the preventative measures we take here at West to help minimize these risks. Also, we'll discuss some of the positive reasons for students to participate in sports. First, I would like to touch on some of the positive reasons for your child to participate. It's a great way to get involved in your school, to be a part of something positive, and to develop friendships that can last a lifetime. It helps build character, work ethic, and self-esteem. Helps them become healthier individuals. Helps them learn to work as a team to achieve goals and learn to exhibit good sportsmanship. They learn how to compete and handle adverse situations. There have been studies that show that athletes earn better grades, have lower absentee rates, and fewer discipline issues. But most of all, athletics are fun, and it helps people grow as individuals. Some of the risks that are involved, it's very time consuming. You practice every day, have games. Sometimes you're doing things on the weekends, sometimes you're lifting weights depending on the sport. So time management can become an issue. If you don't manage your time properly, you can fall behind academically. Weather itself can become a factor for outdoor sports. In the fall, it's very hot when you start your season, and then if you happen to go deep into the postseason, it gets pretty cold. It's the exact opposite in the spring sports. You start out the first couple of weeks, it's very cold, and then if you happen to go pretty deep into the postseason, it gets pretty warm. Heat-related illnesses such as heat exhaustion and heat stroke can become an issue if precautions aren't taken or signs and symptoms are ignored. Injuries, they're always a risk when participating in athletics. They can be as small as blisters, burns, bumps, and bruises, which can make you uncomfortable, but they're not debilitating. They can also include more severe injuries such as sprains, strains, broken bones, torn ligaments, dislocations, and even more severe injuries such as concussions and or spinal injuries. Skin infections can also become a factor. Things such as rashes, ringworm, staph infections, and MRSA can become very serious if they're not treated early. They can also become very contagious and run rampant throughout your program if it's not treated properly. We'd like to think that we wouldn't have any injuries during the course of the year, but injuries can happen even if everything is done correctly. You can have proper supervision. Kids can use proper technique. They can have all their equipment fitted properly, and they can still sustain an injury. It's just a fluke thing. Injuries also vary from sport to sport. Sometimes it depends on if it's a contact sport or a non-contact sport. Some of the contact sports you might have some of the more debilitating injuries, but that doesn't mean that you won't receive a debilitating injury in a non-contact sport. Some of the preventative measures that we take here at West to help minimize the risks. Students have to have a current physical on file. If you have any past history of injuries or anything like that, we'll find that out from the physical. We follow the 15-day conditioning rule that the state of Missouri has. You have to have 14 conditioning practices prior to that 15th day where you can play in your first game. We have yearly facility inspections to make sure that the area is free of any possible dangerous situations. Make sure that the field and or court is kept properly so that there's no seams in the turf or divots in the grass that might become an issue for the students to get hurt. We have periodic grade checks during the course of the semesters to make sure the athletes are keeping up academically. Each athlete also must take a baseline concussion test during their freshman and junior year to use for comparison in case they suffer a concussion. There's also a return to play protocol after concussion symptoms subside. We also have a trainer on site before, during, and after every practice and all games. They're on site for the whole time. Our coaches are also trained in CPR, first aid, and concussion awareness, so they are able to handle any emergency situations that may arise prior to a trainer being able to get to the site if they're not at that site, if we're at another area of the campus. We also recondition all of our equipment yearly to keep it in good condition. We fit the athletes properly with their equipment to make sure that they don't have ill-fitting equipment that's going to put them at risk. Our coaches teach safe and proper techniques. Our coaches also offer off-season training for the athletes to prepare themselves for the upcoming seasons. These include strength training and conditioning, workouts, and they're very beneficial to help get the athletes in better condition and get them stronger and ready for the rigors of the upcoming sports season. We monitor the weather on a daily basis and plan accordingly for all the outdoor sports. We have the kids make sure they take their practice and or game uniforms home at least once a week and wash them to help head off any potential skin conditions, and it's a lot healthier for hygiene purposes. Our custodians also disinfect the locker rooms on a daily basis. We encourage our athletes to lead an all-around healthy lifestyle, get proper nutrition, try to stay hydrated, get plenty of sleep. We talk to them constantly about not getting involved with drugs or alcohol and or tobacco products. All those are counterproductive to trying to become a worthwhile athlete. Lastly, I'd like to just cover a couple things that we've covered at the meeting. We've discussed several reasons to have your child participate in athletics. We also have discussed the possible risks involved with this participation. Hopefully, this meeting has given you the information necessary to make an informed decision on whether or not your child will participate in athletics. If you have any further questions or concerns, you can contact me by email or phone. You should have all the necessary paperwork when you leave here tonight for your child to begin practice after getting his or her tryout card. Above all else, we want you to know that your child's health is our number one priority here at West. Thanks for coming and have a good night. Go Warriors.